So I am really excited because I just went to the library to pick up The Midnight Library by Matt Haig. This book literally came out 3 days ago, and I'm the first person to read this copy of the book, and I am so excited. And I'm planning on dedicating this whole reading vlog just to this book, so I'm going to tell you a little bit about what the book is about, review it a little bit, and also just have you experience the book with me and have you see my live reactions to what is going on in this book. So if you don't know, Matt Haig is a pretty popular author. I personally haven't read any other books by him, but he has 2 other novels that are pretty well known, and they're called How to Stop Time and Reasons to Stay Alive. I'm going in pretty blind with this book. I actually found this book because a long time ago, I was watching Books with Emily Fox. She had an exciting new releases book video, and she shared about this book. And when I learned about what this book was about, it intrigued me so much that I put it as a to-be-read book on my Goodreads, and I made sure to put it on hold right away so that I was the first person to get a copy to read it. So what the book is about, from what I understand, it's about the Midnight Library, which is basically a library that has an infinite amount of books, and each book is what your life would be if you had made a different decision. So the main character, Nora, is someone who lives with a lot of misery and regret, and basically she travels to the library to try to undo some of her negative decisions that she's made in life, and needs to figure out what does it mean to actually live a fulfilling life. I just think the concept of this book sounds so interesting. I think there's going to be a little bit of time travel, which is something that I do like in books. I'm not usually into the fantasy sci-fi kind of genre, but I really like how this book does delve into really hard topics on what does it mean to live a life of regret, and what would your life be if you had made different decisions, and how do you deal with the decisions that you've currently made in your life. And I just think it's a really interesting concept, so I'm really excited to get started reading it, and I want to review it for you to let you know if it's a book worth reading. Or also, if you've already read it, you can share with me some of your opinions, and if you liked the book, if you didn't like the book. What I'm planning on doing, which is what I usually do with books, is that I'm going to read the first 50 pages, see if it's worth the read, if it passes the test. Then I'm going to continue on reading it and obviously share with you my journey along the way. And also this weekend, so it's currently Friday, this weekend I have some really fun plans, so I might just take you along with me. I'll let you know in the next couple of days what that is, but I guess I will update you after I have read the first part of this book, and we'll go on this journey together. And before I forget, I just want to let you know that this is going to be a totally spoiler-free review, so I'm obviously not going to be telling you any spoilers as I'm reading the book. I want this to be more of a review so that you can decide if you want to read the book for yourself. I will say that I will probably be talking about some of the plot points, so if you just want to go into the book totally blind, then maybe this isn't the video for you. But anyway, I just wanted to let you guys know that, and let's start reading. So I actually have a reading update. I've literally been procrastinating all day, and it's 8 p.m. and I haven't done any of the things that I needed to do today because I was hanging out with my friend. But I have been reading The Midnight Library a little bit. I got to page 102, so I passed the 50-page mark. I'm obviously really liking the book, that's why I'm continuing to read it. And I honestly don't have a lot of time to explain this book because I am meeting another friend tonight. But I am really enjoying it. I'm definitely going to continue reading it. The book is really, it's really engaging. It's a really, really cool concept. I think the author himself struggles with mental illness, and this book obviously talks a lot about mental illness and situational depression, which is interesting because I've never really heard that term ever used in a book before. And if you watch my channel and you see the types of books that I like to read, I really am interested in psychology and mental health, so I love reading a lot of like nonfiction psychology books, but it's also really nice to read a book about someone who struggles with mental health issues and in like a fiction setting where it's more of a story. But yeah, I am really enjoying it. So basically, this isn't going to be any spoilers, but in the book, she'll go to the library, she'll say, I want to live a life where this regret didn't happen, because she has like this whole book of regrets. And so she'll pick a book where, you know, she can take away one of her biggest regrets, and then it like will flash, kind of like time travel to that portion of her life where she is like in that situation. And then obviously, like, when you like want to go back on your regrets, it never turns out the way that you wanted to. So she finds out that when you actually change that part of her life, it's actually not that great, as great as you think it would be. Sorry, it's like really hard to explain when you're not trying to give away spoilers. But so it's interesting. I always think time travel is really interesting in books because everyone has a different interpretation of what time travel is. And I don't know if I like this or not, but whenever she does like travel into a new life situation, she never knows like what's going on. Like, she kind of has to learn about everything when she gets there, which is okay, but then it's like her just like kind of in the situation and she doesn't know who people are or where she is or who she's with, and she kind of has to get like acclimated. But again, it's just like his interpretation of time travel. So I do really like this book. I think it's a really interesting concept, and it kind of just like makes me feel better about like, don't regret your past or the things that you've done in the past, because if you had picked a different situation, it doesn't necessarily mean that it would end up better. And that's kind of like the whole point of this book. He's trying to prove that point to his readers. So those are like the pros, all the things that I like about this book. And then I'll just like go into a couple of cons, which for me are cons. They won't necessarily be a con for you, but I would say that this book reads kind of more like a YA. It does like talk about serious topics like self-harms, like a trigger warning, but this book definitely could be written for like a YA audience. Like, I can even see them making a movie out of this book for like a younger audience. So that's one thing. Yeah, the time travel thing where she doesn't really know what's going on doesn't bother me a lot, but it's kind of like, it would be kind of interesting to she kind of had like a general framework of like what was going on before she just like landed somewhere. Also, like, the book is like kind of just, you know, she opens a book, she goes into a situation, she goes back, opens another book, goes into a situation, goes back. I'm really hoping that the entire book doesn't do that, because it's gonna get kind of repetitive and boring. So I'm hoping that they'll be starting to get more of a story in her like present day life. But yeah, I'm really liking it. I'm glad I picked it up. It's definitely unique and interesting. It makes you kind of change perspective about your life and the choices you've made, as I've just said. And I will definitely keep you updated as I go along. It's just like really hard to talk about the book because I don't want to like ruin anything for you guys. And I feel like, I don't know. Anyway, I also wanted to let you guys know what I am doing this weekend. So it's currently Saturday, like 8 p.m. My room is a mess because I didn't get to clean it today. But I'm hanging out with a friend tonight. Then we're gonna go apple picking tomorrow, which is really fun. So I thought that it'd be like fun to like bring you along for like a fall activity in October. So we're gonna go on a hike and then we're gonna go apple picking, which I'm really excited about. So I guess I'll bring you along the way for that. And I probably won't have a lot of time to read this book tomorrow unless I can read it when I get back. But I'll probably finish it at the beginning of next week. I'm just like trying to not rush through books because I just like don't see the point. I just like want to take my time and just like experience the book for what it is. But I'm just really glad this book passed the 50-page mark, and I'm really liking it because not usually, but sometimes with like newer releases, I I don't know, I have like a hard time with like current modern day books, but I do like this book. I'll let you know if anything changes, and let's get apple picking. So I thought I would just give a very brief update on everything that's happened over the weekend. So it is currently Tuesday, and as you saw, I went hiking, which was really fun, but my calves like literally still hurt from the hike because I didn't show you the actual hike. I just showed you like the view from the top, but it was basically just stairs up the entire time. There was no, like, it was basically uphill the entire time. So I was definitely really tired. And then after we went hiking, as you saw, I went apple picking as well. And the weird thing about apple picking is that all of the apples at the bottom of the tree were picked already. So the only apples that were available were at the very top. I think I have a video showing that. And in order to get your apples, you had to literally climb the tree to get them because they didn't give you like an apple picker. So yeah, it wasn't like as like cute, you know, video worthy as I thought it would be. I thought I was like gonna be able to just, you know, have a cute video of me picking an apple off the tree, but that was not the case. It was actually more of a workout than I thought. But anyway, yeah, I had a really fun weekend, and I haven't been getting a lot of reading done, to be honest. I mean, I'm obviously gonna finish this book at some point this week. So let me just give you a brief update about where I'm at. I'm on page 185, so I don't know, like a little over halfway, I guess, at this point. And yeah, I'll definitely finish this book at some point this week. I am still really liking it. So how do I explain my thoughts on this book? The reason why I like this book a lot is because it talks a lot about, yeah, parallel universes and what your life would look like if, you know, you had made a different decision, or if you decided to choose a different route in life, which I feel like for a lot of people struggling, you know, with mental health, when you have a lot of regret in life, or you feel like you should have, you know, done another path, and you always think that the grass is always greener on the other side. But I guess this book is really showing that, you know, you created the life that you have, and the other life that you want is not necessarily a better life for you. And I mean, I'm just repeating myself. I already told you all these things, but basically what I'm trying to say is that I think that the subject matter of this book is really interesting. The philosophy behind it, the idea of thinking about parallel universes of my own life and thinking about all that kind of stuff is really fascinating to me. And I feel like those concepts are more fascinating to me than the actual book itself and the story. And I'm not shading the book. I really do like this book, and it's very thought-provoking. And he had to teach me these things through the character. So basically what I'm saying is, like, I think this book is good. I like what I'm learning from it more than the actual story. I would never want to, I always feel bad like saying negative things about books, because I know that the authors like put their heart and soul into these books, and it feels like I'm almost like telling them that their child is ugly or something. And I know that this author said that this book that he wrote was the closest thing he's ever written to his own personal experience in life, and I do really like it, but I think I'm more interested in the concepts. That's what I'm trying to say. That took me like a million years to say that one thing, but yeah, I am liking it. And I think it's a really important read for people that are struggling with mental health or are just interested in like those kinds of topics. But I probably will, you know, finish up the book and let you know my final thoughts when I'm done. Sorry, I'm like noticing my shadow and it's like really bothering me. But yeah, I'll probably just like finish up the book, let you know when I'm done, my final thoughts. I'm kind of curious to see where the story goes. Like, this is definitely like a character journey story where she's like learning about herself along the way, but I'm trying to like see where the end point is. Like, I hope it's not just like, oh, my life is actually really great, why did I wish for anything else? Like, I hope that it actually comes to like it's like something really substantial, I guess, like worth the read, you know what I mean? So I will give you guys an update once I am completely finished with the book. I finally finished The Midnight Library by Matt Haig, and I ended up liking the ending. I thought he wrapped up the book really well. So if I were to say yes or no with regards to recommending this book, I would definitely recommend it. I honestly really did like it. I think that it touches on incredibly important topics such as mental health and depression, and I'm really glad that this book came out when it did during everything that's going on in the world right now and quarantine, where people are feeling really lonely and a little bit lost. And I think this book is so perfect in just reminding people that everything is going to be okay and that your life as it is right now has meaning. I almost felt like this book was kind of like a self-help book if it was put into a fiction novel, just because he added so much philosophy from like Thoreau and Walden, all of these different like philosophers that I'm sure he uses in his own life, and he added them in this book. And it just kind of, I don't know, I mean, I love self-help books, so it was just really nice to see an author like really make the intention of trying to help other people and just give them words of wisdom and insight. But overall, I'd say this book was a success, and I would recommend if you're interested in picking this up. But I really appreciate you going on this journey with me along the way and just hearing my thoughts on this book. Thank you so much for getting to the end of this video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Missing someone.